Hello, I'm Dan Hellman with I&E Nation, and I'm here with Terry Whipple, the founder of Inventors and Entrepreneurs Clubs. Terry, I have a question in this segment for you, and it is, how can you start your own I&E Club?
You know, it's very easy to start your own club, and we encourage the person, to go out and find, if they want to start a club, whether it be in a community. We have clubs in teeny little communities. We have clubs in regions. We have it in counties. They can go as big as they want or small as they want. But it's very simple. And usually I ask them, go out and find sort of an advisory board or an advisory council.
Who should be on that advisory board?
Well, you want it to be very diverse. You want people from the arts, you want inventors, you want business type people, you want even resources, maybe state resources on your board, so that you have a very diverse group.
How many people are you looking to have on an advisory council?
You probably shouldn't have over maybe a dozen people, because what you really want to do is try to set the tone and set the agendas for the different meetings, the speakers, and you want these people to be interacting with people that come to the club, making introductions. The facilitator of the club meeting is probably the most important. He is like that eharmony.com.
Yeah.
What he's doing is bringing people together. So he's sort of the one that controls the database, the networking database.
Is there a minimum number you should have on the advisory council or advisory board? You said maybe a dozen would be the most. Is there a minimum that you at least want to have?
Well, I think you'd at least want to have 6 people of different diverse. We've actually, instead of advisory council, we actually created a 501c3 nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
So that we could use our club for getting grants and different things like that for people that are exploring ideas where they could use those grant dollars.
Oh, that's neat.
So that's also an option, is to create a 501c3.
So once you have your advisory board, you ask these people to be part of the advisory board. What's your next step?
Well, what you want to do then is you want to find a place to meet. And we suggest that you meet at the same place all the time, every month, once a month. And the reason we do that is because we used to go from business to business because they wanted us there.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing is, people hear about the I&E Club through word of mouth. And so we had people trailing, all the way back. Now people just count on it. The last Thursday of every month is our Inventors and Entrepreneurs Club meeting, and people count on it. Also do the same time, once a month, same date, same time, same place. And that makes it very easy for people to know when the meetings is and things like that. And so we get together once a month. One of the things that we do to make it comfortable for people to come and share their ideas with certain people. If they have an idea that they want to protect and they haven't yet, we tell them to keep that close to their chest.
Sure.
They don't need to explain everything.
Sure.
But if they do want to talk to somebody more in depth, we have confidentiality agreements available so that they can have those signed out, and then they can go off in the corner and talk to them more in depth.
Give them some protection there if they need that. Okay.
That's
and
right.
when you're talking about starting up, how do you get that first meeting going? The first group of people, because you said word of mouth is how it starts. How do you get the word of mouth out to the first group, or how did you do that?
Usually what we do is you get together with people in economic development, invite the press. The press loves to hear about stuff, inventor entrepreneur clubs and the activities that they're going to do and the stories and those kind of things. So you get it out into the press, maybe even do the radio, and you do that for maybe 3 months, and it's word of mouth. And I tell you, there's parents telling their children, children telling their parents and grandparents, neighbors telling neighbors, because people a lot of times do come up and say, I got this idea. Then you go, hey, have you ever heard of the Inventors and Entrepreneurs Club?
Sure.
And that's usually where it starts.
When you have these clubs, do you have to have like a president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, like you would in a lot of other organizations? Do you have that as well as part of and have like a minutes and that sort of thing as well? Is it that formal?
It's up to you on the structure and stuff. We, like people to keep an advisory council. If they get, if they want to go after bigger donations or something like that, we don't want it to be burdensome. We don't want the club to have to rely on so much money that becomes a hassle.
Sure.
But what we do at the clubs is our club is, it's just all donations, so it's very simple. We do have some sponsors that donate the coffee and things like that, but again, we don't want it to be burdensome. So there's really not a whole lot of cost. Our membership, people, it's more of a donation.
Sure.
And so it's not a membership dues as much as it is a donation.
If you make it a 501c3, is that right? Is that paperwork very much involved to maintain that, or is it once you have your 501c3, is it easy to maintain?
Like any other company, you have your annual reports and you have your annual meeting, and you would meet so often. We do meet once a month as a 501c3 board. Sure. Advisory councils you can set up about whatever you want there. One of the most important things that when you set up your club that you should do is have somebody, as people stand up and introduce themselves, tell them their name, why they're there, and their expertise or talents that they have somebody writing that down on the database so that in the future, you know where those people are. If we need anything in the club, all I have to do is put an email out to the whole club, and I'll get replies from all over the country of people willing to help or step in or introduce somebody to somebody else. So it becomes a very, very valuable tool, that database.
Oh, neat. That is a good idea. All right. Anything else to starting an entrepreneur club, an I&E club?
The big thing is just to keep it very simple. And the facilitator, the most important thing that they're doing is bringing people together. The facilitator doesn't have to be an expert in anything other than bringing people together that know. And that's what it makes that database so important. Yeah. Because when somebody needs something, you're not just telling them and leaving them on the hook. You're actually introducing them to somebody that's going to work with them.
Oh, that's exciting. That's neat. And well, thank you, Terry. And now you know how to start an I&E club. It's fairly simple, so get out there and do it.